the international stream was just like hot garbage. Like there's
Yeah.
no other way of describing it. And you know, these are the things that are going to discourage new fans from actually following the league. Like
Yeah.
WSL needs to sort it out like right now.
Hello and welcome. You're watching All About the W, your weekly deep dive into the WSL, stats, stories, and standout performances. Let's break it all down. I'm Ash, and as always, I'm joined by Kai. Um, this is all about the match day, our review of match day 1 of the WSL. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. If you're a regular, don't forget to hit that like button and comment below. So let's kick off all about the match day with the first game that we're talking about, which is Chelsea versus Man City, which ended 2-1. Beaver Jones scored in the 31st minute, Hamano scored in the 64th minute, and Charles scored an own goal in the 70th minute. Kai, you must be ecstatic that you managed to get this over the line. I mean, City did in the second half look like they were having a minor comeback. How do you feel? How do you feel about this game?
I was overall happy just with the quality of the game, to be
Yeah,
honest. First of all, like I expected a draw. First game of the season, rusty. You don't know what will really happen, but
yeah,
it was a little bit rusty. Of course, start of the season, you always expect that, but yeah, like I said, the quality of the game was so much better than I expected it to be. And hey, we scored 3 goals,
yeah,
so can't complain. uh,
yeah.
but
Three goals.
um, yeah, yeah. I mean, as we expected, we did see the three at the back that Chelsea fans have been dreading all summer. But to be fair, I think it did look pretty good. Gurma's out with an injury. Was really hoping to see her play for a full season. Hopefully, it's not something too bad, but she still managed to play back three with Neve Charles at the left centre back, which I don't even know what to say. I mean, to be fair to Neve Charles, she did do well.
Yeah.
Um,
Own goal aside.
Own goal aside, I thought she played really well. But I think what it did allow for was for Carpenter to go forward with so much more freedom. You know, it also like allowed us to sort of create an overload in the midfield. Like Captain and Hamano was so impressive off the ball. Like I think I figured out what Sonia Bumpastor craves the most in a squad, and I think it's just energy.
Yeah.
like every new player, like we've signed Alyssa Thompson as well now, who brings a lot of energy. uh, like on that right hand side, we've signed Ellie Carpenter, who we saw how good she was, and Hamano and Captain, like people who just don't stop running, and I was so impressed with that. Like I was actually genuinely pretty impressed with that midfield. Like Walsh and Captain, they kept running and they kept dragging players away,
Yeah.
to sort of free Micah up to receive the ball. Um, and I, you know, like I was a little disappointed with how she was on the ball a little bit,
Yeah.
because she's somebody who's very good on the ball as well, Micah. But her passes were a bit, they went a bit astray. But overall, I was pretty happy with the quality of that midfield.
Yeah, I also thought that, this setup with the three at the back allowed Walsh more control of the game. At least that's my opinion. Like, we got to see what we were hoping or expecting to see last season from Walsh to some extent. So
Yeah.
I do think that, with the three at the back, the midfield sorts itself out a little bit better.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like, even in the second half, we sort of switched to a back four with like Millie Bright dropping into the midfield.
Yeah,
And I thought that was also interesting. I don't
yeah.
want to see that like as like the starting lineup. But I liked it. I liked the look
Yeah.
of it. But yeah, I mean, uh, I don't think we've seen the best of Kira Walsh in a Chelsea shirt. Like I feel like we'll see more of it. Always was of the opinion in the last season that she just wasn't ready.
Yeah.
She just didn't have time to. like Bompasser didn't have time to figure out a system that works for Walsh, and Walsh did not have enough time to gel with the team.
Yeah.
But hopefully, this is a season where she comes good.
Yeah.
But for City, I thought under a new manager, I mean, it's basically baptism by fire, right?
Yeah.
It's a tough game, be playing away at Chelsea. I thought City played pretty well, to
Yeah.
be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think they played badly at all. I thought the setup was a bit weird, but I did like seeing Yui Hasagawa playing a little further up the pitch because she had the best chances in the game.
Yeah.
Apart from Bunny Shaw, I
Yeah.
felt like that little back heel that she tried to do. I mean, that could have been a
Yeah.
beautiful goal
Oh
for.
my god. And I saw it. I was just like, oh my god, I wish that had gone in.
Yeah, part of me was did feel a bit bad that not like pan out, but again, I was not complaining. But she does play a bit higher up the pitch with Japan, and I'm glad, yeah, because like I've like she's just a good footballer, right? She
Yeah.
plays well wherever she plays.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would like to see her play this way a little, maybe in a pivot. I
Yeah.
mean, they've all obviously signed Grace Clinton, so it'd be interesting to see them in a pivot. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, with Yui, I also thought that, her best quality is her ability to play out of tight spaces, and
mhm.
that's more useful go up front than it is behind where she generally plays.
Yeah, I mean, with the way City play out from the back,
Yeah,
sometimes like obviously that is also a useful skill to be a bit press resistant that
yeah,
way. But yeah, I mean, she's also a super creative player.
yeah,
That's what
yeah,
I
yeah,
think. Like, I feel like, yeah, I think she can just find spaces like most other players can't.
yeah,
Like, she sees things that other players don't see. So yeah, and for me, the thing that really annoyed me, and I feel like if I was a City fan, I would have been livid, is
yeah,
the fact that Hem played on that right hand side
yeah,
because I just felt like Carpenter was like cooking Greenwood, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I feel like playing Hemp on that left hand side would have solved like two problems that City were
Same
having.
time,
One
yeah,
is like Bunny Shaw was not getting any service.
yeah,
Like you put like balls on Bunny Shaw's head,
yeah,
like that's what you do, right? And Lily Murphy was not crossing the ball.
yeah,
And like if you have Hemp, she obviously tracks back, she's fast,
yeah,
but also having somebody with that pace will pin
yeah,
the right wing back a little further
yeah,
back.
yeah,
Like I feel like like he wanted to play inverted wingers. That's
yeah,
pretty obvious. He also wanted to maybe exploit Chelsea's left hand side,
yeah,
which is probably the weaker of the two.
yeah,
So I see where he was coming from, but also I don't think it helped that Greenwood had such a terrible game. I
yeah,
think this is the worst game I've seen Greenwood have.
yeah,
Like I feel like defensively, obviously, like Carpenter, just yeah, like she was just eating her alive.
yeah,
But I felt like what was worse was her distribution.
yeah,
Her passing was so off. Like, her passing accuracy was 73%, and her
yeah,
long ball accuracy was 22%,
yeah,
which is not what you expect from Greenwood. So I feel like he made a bit of a mistake. Like,
yeah,
I expected him to switch to like the left hand side so much
yeah,
earlier. I think she switched only at the 70th minute mark or something. I'm not really sure when she switched, but I felt like it was too late.
yeah. With Greenwood, I also think it was tactical because the passes she was making were constantly being cut off, and I think that was because her passes were so predictable. Everyone knew where it was coming, and it was
Mhm.
constantly being intercepted.
Yeah.
So I do think that maybe she should work on uh, just
Yeah,
being slightly
that's
more unpredictable.
that's another thing I have an issue with, right? Like, obviously, Greenwood has like a brilliant left foot,
Yeah,
but also I had an issue with the center back pairing. Like, you
yeah,
have two very young center backs.
yeah,
When you have an experienced center back in Greenwood and you have the option of Wahabi as well as Lazel on the bench,
yeah,
why are you making Greenwood play at left back?
yeah,
It
yeah,
doesn't make sense to me. I feel like, and if you're in a center back position, your option to pass
yeah,
are
yeah,
so
yeah,
much higher.
yeah,
Like you have the space to pass both ways, make like your variety of passes that you have, like the options that you
yeah,
have are just higher.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like, yeah, but I mean, listen, City's injuries woes have already started
Oh
before
my
the 90
god.
minute mark.
I was like, how can you start the season and literally everybody's injured? Like, I even picked Fowler originally in my fantasy team, and I forgot to change it. And I'm just like, oh my god, another injury crisis at City. Oh my god, really?
Yeah, I mean the Lily Murphy one just looked awful. She was
Yeah,
in so much pain, and obviously Alex Greenwood. It seems like it seemed like she'd done her hamstring, which is at least a few months out. So
yeah,
yeah, I mean it was a fun game. I wish it hadn't ended on that note because
yeah,
that just like kind of made it like I felt like this is such a bummer.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
you,
yeah,
you don't want to see players go down like that,
yeah,
but yeah. But on the flip side, Chelsea did look good. We did look fluid, and
yeah,
like I'm really curious to see all the 100,000 systems and
yeah.
starting 11 combinations Sonia's come up with over the summer. It's yeah. Anyway, so okay, the I mean this weekend was a bit of a goal fest, wasn't
Yeah,
it? Like,
it really
a lot of
was.
4-0s, 4-1. So let's look at the 4-0 between Manchester United and Leicester. Ella Toon scored in the 13th minute, Turland in the 25th minute, and Mallard scored a brace in the 73rd and the 87th minute. As we've predicted Leicester to be in a relegation battle, and also they fired their manager.
Yeah.
So, what did you make of this game? Like, what do you think Leicester are doing?
Yeah. Honestly, like, uh, Leicester obviously have an interim manager in Passmore, but he's going to need a miracle. Like, they weren't great last season, but despite their difficulties with scoring, they were like always solid in defense, which is why they always got a result, against Chelsea, for example. So, and they seem to have now lost that defensive solidity as well. Like, United were cutting through them like butter. I was always feeling sorry for Esther because after all of the off the pitch drama, the last thing you want is being 2-0 down in the pouring rain at United with games against Liverpool and Chelsea to follow. Like, that's hardly the start you want to a new season.
Wow,
So,
that is
like,
no.
it's like the hits just keep on coming. Like, if it hadn't been for Leipzig, who by the end of the game looked like she'd gone to war with like a bandage on her head and like everything,
Yeah,
like they could easily have been like 5 or 6 down. So I'm so worried for them. I don't see like I caught a lot of the like lower league team games. I suppose you would say lower league teams games in the weekend, and honestly speaking, I feel like nobody was as bad as Leicester.
yeah. I mean, I'm definitely worried for them. But
Yeah,
Ash, how did United look? Like, I saw they had like five people on their
yeah,
bench,
yeah,
and I'm definitely concerned about their squad depth. But
yeah.
how did United look against a very poor Leicester?
Yeah. I mean, it is Leicester, let's face it. But like, I feel like United have finally figured out their midfield. Like Zigiotti absolutely is that missing link. Linking up play, progressing the ball, also bombing into the box. It was wonderful
Hmm.
to watch. Like
I
I
love. She has an excellent shot on her. Like,
yeah,
I really like that.
exactly. And like it's only like it's only a matter of time before she scores. And like honestly speaking, my eyes were drawn to Zigiotti the whole game because she was just making a menace of herself. It was absolutely great to watch. And it also what it did was it freed up Toon because Zigiotti
Mm,
did so much of that recovery and defensive work as well. Like she was just everywhere, work rate wise. So I reckon
yeah,
it gives Toon a new lease on life, having struggled a bit last season, but also carrying that confidence from the Euros with her into this season. I feel
yeah.
like, and I feel like the specter of Clinton is also gone. So for some
She's truly
reason,
Spectre now. So
yeah.
yeah,
So it's I think really their midfield, at least for this game, it looked like it had clicked. It finally something had clicked. But the biggest strength for United in this game was the combination of Mallard and Sandberg on that left side. Everything was going through the two of them. They were making this nice like little triangle with Toon, and Mallard was absolutely sensational. Like physicality wise, progressing the ball, crossing it into the box, and giving Turland service. Absolutely just wonderful. And I reckon she could have gotten a hat trick with a little bit more precision. Maybe that's something she
yeah.
should work on, precision, because I know that in this game she managed to score a brace, but she's not always the most precise in front of goal. Uh,
I saw this one chance which was like an absolute sitter. Like
yeah,
I feel like she tried to go for the top corner
yeah,
when
yeah,
she
yeah,
didn't need to,
yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
yeah.
but yeah.
And Jess Park also had a great cameo running with the ball, progressing it through tight spaces. And so if they can, if they can keep all these players fit, United are definitely in contenders for the league. But we'll have to see what playing in the Champions League does to their like very small squad. Like there
Hmm.
was a point at which Letizia was hobbling in the game, and you could see how worried Skinner was because the
Yeah,
drop off is so high if Letizia gets injured. In fact, if
that is so
any of these
true.
people get injured, the drop off is high. So I'm I'm just not sure if they can keep this up in the whole season, but maybe they'll strengthen even further in January. So that remains to be seen. And like this game, they played faultlessly. Like I can't point to a single player in the game and say like there were one or two iffy moments where Fallon was being pressed by Leicester, but like by Lynn, but like it wasn't like it wasn't anything worthy of talking about. So absolutely every single player on the United pitch was looking like they were a well-oiled machine. I mean, it also helps that while everyone else is rusty, United has already played like competitive games in the Champions League.
Yeah, that is true.
Um,
Yeah.
so honestly, I just don't know what United can take from this because Leicester is so bad at keeping the ball. So like whether it's United clicked or Leicester were bad, I can't really make a judgment. But from what I saw, just in terms of passing accuracy and setting up play and building it up play, all of that, I feel like United definitely have improved on their performance from last season, and they were already good last season.
Yeah.
Okay, now we finally have to talk about the game that is on everyone's mind: Arsenal versus London City Lionesses, which ended 4-1. Aslani scored a penalty in the 17th minute, and then from there on, it was the Arsenal show. Smith scored on her debut for Arsenal in the 29th minute. Kelly scored in the 45th plus 2 minute in extra time in the first half, and then Blackstenia scored in the 83rd minute, and Marnham scored in the 84th minute. Oh my god, it was really a welcome to the WSL for the LCL, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, listen, before we talk about the match, right? I just want to talk about the stream. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
So it's a new season, but we're dealing with the exact same problems with the WSL production. It was so disappointing, Ash. This is such a big match, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
this is
yeah,
not just like a match at the Emirates,
yeah,
like an opening day match against like at the Emirates. It's between Arsenal and London City Lionesses who've been making some headline
yeah,
signings. So you have a flashy owner at the helm for for LCL, and you know this match was impossible to watch.
yeah,
Like the stream was glitching every 4 seconds and it was
yeah,
giving me a headache.
yeah,
And they were doing this really weird cuts to fans in between.
yeah,
Everything, a big moment happens in the match, immediately
yeah,
cut to like fans.
yeah,
And I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
yeah,
what is that about?
yeah,
It's just unacceptable. I feel
yeah,
like you know this right after a major tournament is an opportunity for you to build an international fan base,
yeah,
right? And the international stream was just like hot garbage. Like there's
yeah,
no other way of describing it. And you know, these are the things that are going to discourage new fans from actually following the league. Like
yeah,
WSL needs to sort it out like right now. Like this is the issue we had with branding, like
yeah,
the rebrand that happened, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
you
yeah.
are not paying attention to things that you need to pay attention to,
Yeah,
in my
yeah,
opinion. Like the rebrand, was it really necessary? Maybe,
yeah,
sure. You're taking over, so maybe, but still I feel like there was a necessity to ensure that the production quality, like I feel like ultimately we're all watching football,
yeah, yeah,
so that's what needs to be addressed first and foremost, and they have not done that. It's so disappointing.
yeah. And honestly, it didn't go as often in the other games, but it went in nearly every game that I saw in the weekend. Like
Yeah.
in the Spurs game, definitely there were two or three moments where it glitched. And even in the United Leicester game, there were a couple of moments where it glitched. So like definitely it's not just an Arsenal thing. I mean, it was worse in the Arsenal thing possibly because there were a lot more viewers. But
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know what the technical issue is, but like they really need to sort it out.
So apparently it was an issue with the footage
Yeah,
that was coming. So basically, even in like with ESPN or in Australia where they had broadcasters,
yeah.
apparently the footage had issues because all of
Oh,
it was glitching.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So I don't know, like yeah, it really it's just super disappointing. Even in the Chelsea City game, there
yeah,
was an audio lag,
yeah,
you know, and that's still like it's okay, it's
yeah,
still annoying, but
yeah,
this was just flat out unacceptable
yeah,
for
yeah,
me.
yeah,
Anyway, okay, coming to the match itself, right? Like the kind of things we need to sit and cry about, uh, as if our teams are not enough to cry over already.
yeah,
Uh, but yeah, I mean, London City Lionesses started really brightly. You know, they were pressing Arsenal really high, and it caused them a
yeah,
lot of problems. That first penalty sort of comes from that. Is I think it was Katie Zellum who won the ball back in a dangerous area, and like and then obviously Katie Reed had a really, yeah, I feel like an inexperienced defender's moment in the box.
yeah.
It was unfortunate, but yeah, good penalty. Um, and they went up, but after that, it was just all Arsenal. Like, I mean, just a word on Olivia
Oh
Smith,
my
man.
god, how brilliant was that? Oh my god, what a beauty. That goal was just absolutely
Yeah,
sensational.
it's going to be. I feel like it's going to be the goal of the month.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I mean, I feel like what she does is like she solves two problems Arsenal had, right? Like one is I feel like they did lack pace, especially before they signed Chloe Kelly on loan.
yeah,
I felt like that front line really lacked pace.
yeah,
Like if at all they want to play a bit direct, right? And she's clearly solves that problem.
yeah,
She dribbles well, she's fast, but also that willingness to sort of take a shot from range.
yeah,
I feel like the only other player in Arsenal who does that is probably Frida Manum.
yeah,
Um, and Olivia Smith really solves that
yeah,
problem.
yeah,
Like a
yeah,
brilliant finish from her.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, I mean, probably worth every penny.
yeah,
Hopefully, she can stay fit. I feel like she can make a massive difference. You know, in the start of the season, I was wondering if Renee Slagers would start Kelly on the right or Olivia Smith on the right or Beth Mead. I feel like Beth Mead has fallen down on
yeah,
the pecking order, but we will talk a little bit about Mead later. But yeah, the other thing I really liked up front was that combination play between Russo and Kelly. They looked really fluid.
yeah,
They looked really, really fluid, and I feel like London City Lionesses were pretty bad
yeah,
defensively. They
yeah,
were actually probably defensively of all the matches that I watched. I didn't see Leicester,
yeah,
but of all the matches I watched, that was probably the worst, including Liverpool.
yeah,
That was probably the worst defensive performance of the weekend.
yeah,
But coming to Beth Mead, I think now suddenly Arsenal look like they have proper depth.
yeah,
Two goals come after Stina Monum and Mead come off the bench,
yeah,
right? And I feel like now what you see is when Arsenal are making subs,
yeah,
that drop off in quality is not that high.
yeah,
They all have a role to play.
yeah,
Like Mead um, is really good with her feet and her assists, etc.
yeah,
And you have Blackstenius who is going to like she's a cheat code against tired legs, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And you have Manam who also who crashes the box, who can score a goal or two from range as well. So I feel like they all have roles, and I
yeah,
feel like that quality is also maintained even when subs happen.
yeah,
And I feel like that's so important for Arsenal to win the league,
yeah,
for them to do well in cup competitions in the Champions League. You absolutely needed that, and I feel like just the two signings of Kelly um, and
Olivia Smith.
Olivia Smith sort of sorts that up front. Behind, it's a bit still a bit iffy, but I mean, even the choice of starting Katie Reed over Kadina and
Yeah,
Lotte Moy is an interesting one,
yeah, yeah,
honestly. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, it
Okay.
also, like,
Yeah.
for me, this is what I was talking about in terms of the center back drop off, which is I don't think that Sleggers has any confidence in Woburn Moy. Like, I think that she has more confidence in Katie Reed than she does in all both of them. Like,
Hmm.
uh, I, but on the other hand, if that was the case when Williamson got injured, they had the time to offload and get new center backs. Like, you don't keep, if you don't have confidence in them, don't keep them. Why are you playing Reed over them?
Yeah, I don't know what that choice was about. We'll wait and see who she picks in the next game week.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, overall, I think it was a disappointing showing from London City Lionesses
yeah,
as well. I feel like, I think the manager needs to be a little smarter,
yeah,
because like employing like a high press
yeah,
with the kind of players you have right now,
yeah,
because I feel like, a lot of their players are older.
yeah,
Like you have players like Paris,
yeah,
Zelim,
yeah,
Aslani, who can't like
yeah,
do a high press for like, you who can't keep doing that
yeah, yeah,
for a
yeah,
good chunk of 90
yeah,
minutes. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So I mean, of course, Grace Gairo is gonna come in, so that's gonna make a difference.
yeah,
But um, yeah, I feel like they need to be tactically a little smarter.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
and the defense was like shambolic. I feel like
yeah,
that back line is going to be a problem for them. Kumagai
yeah,
struggled. Kennedy, I don't rate her as a center back.
yeah,
It's not news. So I think they do need to strengthen there at some point. But
yeah,
I mean, they're building something. Could they have defended better? Absolutely, but it's not like a damning indictment of the choices they've made
yeah,
or
yeah,
the
yeah.
squad that they have.
Yeah, and the thing is, they did have a few close opportunities. They did hit the post once. Um,
Hmm.
so there is potential there. I can see the potential there. But I always feel like when you're a team that's come in new to the league, that you should just work on a structure rather than focus on your, like, you could have like 10 parishes in Aslanis, but if you don't have like a proper defensive structure, organized defensive structure, you're going to struggle at the top, in the top flight. So
Yeah.
I feel like but they also have so many new transfers that it's hard to organize that structure
Hmm.
in so little time. So I think it'll take them a couple of weeks to get that going as well.
Yeah. I mean, I personally do think the second half of the season is probably when we're going to see the best of them.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, just time for the manager as well as the players to sort of figure things out together,
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's an overhaul that's happened.
Yeah, but I just, one last thing about Arsenal, that forward line scares the shit out of me. Like, I'm not looking forward to the North London derby for
Yeah.
sure. I just, that forward line with Olivia Smith and Chloe Kelly firing, and Russo being that person who like links their madness together. Like, it's too much. And then like,
Mm.
when you think that okay, it's over, they're going away, Manam or someone will come in, and it's so scary.
Yeah. It's good depth for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Anyway, to the next game, we have another derby. Or well, the first derby technically. I'm thinking another derby because of the Spurs, but Liverpool versus Everton ended 4-1 to Everton. Kapok scored in the 12th minute, and then Vinola scored in the 23rd, 54th, and the 56th minute. What a great debut! And then Snowy scored in the 45th plus 4th minute. Um, is it Vignola?
I think it's Vignola.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Vignola.
Ornella Vignola.
Um,
Yeah.
anyway, I I saw a bit of this game, like in little bits and pieces, and I thought Everton was so good on the counter, but it was a closer game than 4-1.
Yeah. I mean, listen. if you look at the stats of this game, right, like you
Yeah.
just would not believe that Everton won this match,
Yeah.
but won this match by this margin as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like literally, you look at any metric, right? Liverpool outperformed Everton,
Yeah. Yeah.
except I
Yeah.
think interceptions and clearances.
Yeah.
Yeah, but overall, even though Liverpool were a bit unlucky, um, I feel like the defensive performance was just so bad. Uh, and I also think like Anfield, Merseyside derbies are just cursed for Liverpool
Yeah.
women. I don't know. For the most part, I feel like they've probably in the last 6 years or so they've had the better squad
Yeah.
compared to
Yeah.
the two teams, possibly. So I feel like there is a curse that
Yeah.
needs to be lifted. They just need to figure out a way to break that curse.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, it was the Vignola show, right?
Yeah.
There was three shots, three goals,
Yeah.
incredible finishes from her. In my opinion, the first goal should not have happened. You cannot concede from your own corner. That's just unacceptable. Kerry Holland basically was ball watching. She basically watched Haley Ladd just make a pass, and Vignola just like running. I mean, I don't know. She reacted so slowly to that. Um, I felt like that should not have happened. She should have stopped her, gotten ahead of her a little bit, or at least stopped her further up in the pitch and not in her own box, because it took her a while to catch up to her. But yeah, I mean, fancy footwork, brilliant finish from Vignola. The third goal also, Vignola's second actually, another kind of example of how poor Liverpool's defending was. Like the header that she scored, Sarah Holmgard basically makes a pass from the right wing. It goes across the box, falls to the other fullback, Mas Pacheco, who's there somewhere thereabouts, a left wing box, near the box. And in this whole passage of play, not one Liverpool player makes an attempt to close her down, makes a play for the ball. And that's just, yeah, that was just poor from Liverpool. Um, last season, Kiko Seke scored an opening day hat trick, and um, she then did not score any goals through the season. I think it was a bit patchy for her. She did not keep up that form, but I do feel like it might be a bit different for Vignola. I think she's one to watch out for because her movement um, was incredible, especially for that header. Uh, that will to sort of get ahead of Gemma Bonner to make contact on the ball. I feel like she's going to be a goal threat. Yeah, I mean, despite the scoreline, honestly, I felt like Liverpool played better than I expected them to, and Everton played worse than I expected them to. Uh, because Everton have made some good additions to their midfield. For example, like Mumiki is and Lad. Obviously, they made that addition towards the end of December, last December. So yeah, I feel like I expected a little bit better. But in other news, which I think is very important news, is Liverpool's goalkeeper has ran off to Germany. She has disappeared. Gareth Taylor has sent someone running for the hill in like the first 10 minutes he's been there, I think. But I mean, don't quote me on this. I'm joking. Like Gareth Taylor came out and said that it's an issue between her and the club. I don't know. Maybe it's like one of those like logistical paperwork related issues. Maybe it's a visa thing. I'm not really sure. But yeah, Rafaela Bografe is gone. And Katja Snoys for Everton has, I mean, wore the armband, which I also thought was interesting. But yeah, I mean, it was a really fun game. It felt like a proper chaotic derby.
Yeah.
So many people hit the post. Like I think even two goals hit the post. Like it went off the underside of the bar. I think Vignola's header as well as Capox. Also a great finish by the way from Cornelia Capox. That also went off the bar. Just like everything hitting the post and the bar left, right, and center in this match. Uh, but yeah, I mean, for their impressive counter-attacking clinical game, I would say Everton definitely deserve the win.
Yeah, I reckon that as well. And like Taylor, obviously, if he wants to keep that high line, I think he needs to work on offside traps with his team because otherwise they're going to get caught out like this again and again and again
Yeah,
throughout
I
the
agree.
season.
Yeah. Okay, coming to uh, Spurs versus West Ham, the mighty Tottenham Hotspur, uh, finishing 1-0 to Spurs. Beth England scoring a penalty in the 86th minute. Ash, it's the first match under your new manager Martin Ho. What did you make of Spurs' performance?
So I'll say this. I was a little worried about, Hunt and Koga in defense. I know Hunt is like 26 years old, but still relatively inexperienced in that she's known to make a mistake or two. And, with alongside Koga and with Molly Bartrip having fitness issues, I was genuinely worried for this game, especially because it's a derby game. Um, and like teams against West Ham, if we don't beat, then we fall into trouble and put pressure on ourselves throughout the season. So I really, really needed a result in this game. And I thought that, like our structure in defense looked really good, like looked quite organized. And I was quite happy with the way that we were defending. Um I will say that, like I genuinely have this belief that one of the hardest things to do in life is to teach a Spurs team how to defend. And so I have a very good opinion of Martin Ho for that very reason. I mean,
Hey, it's been 1 week. Give
yeah,
it
yeah,
time.
yeah, that's true. That's also true. Um, but having said that about the defense, in attack, we're still, we were struggling last season to score goals, and even in this game, we really lacked penetration. And I put this down to like a managerial thing and a player thing, which is Beth England, right? You have the a player who is good at practically everything, a technically gifted player who can link up play, who can play deep in the midfield, who can cross the ball in from the wing. Beth England can practically do everything in the game, uh, including defending actually. But the thing is that other people can also do this. Other people can link up play. Other people can progress the ball. Other people can cross the ball in. What other people cannot do is score goals. Your best player needs to be in the fucking box. Like there is
Yeah.
not no like no reason for Beth England to be meandering all over the pitch when like she what people need to do is give her service in the box. And maybe she
Beth
was
England, the box to box midfielder.
yeah, yeah. And maybe she was not unhappy with the service she was getting, and so she was. I don't know if it's a tactical thing to have Beth England be like a linking up striker, or whether it's a Beth England thing where she's just unhappy with her service and so she's coming deep to collect the ball. But whatever it is, it needs to stop because otherwise we're never going to score goals in open
Yeah.
play. And there were things that I was happy to see. Happy to see Araya Dennis get her first full game. I was happy to see Gunning Williams come on. There's a lot of young players now with Koga as well, that are taking up the mantle for a rather beleaguered Spurs squad. That where it's all sort of become stale and the senior players aren't clicking as well.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see some like fresh talent come in and maybe make some changes.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I can't see any of these people taking up the mantle and being that person who scores us the goals, etc. So it's still then the Beth England show. So I'm a little worried about that. One person who could maybe make a difference is Kit Graham. It was nice to see. I mean, she was slightly rusty because it's been so long since she played, but it was nice to see her on. I would prefer her centrally in like a 10 sort of role rather than on the wing, or even like an inverted winger sort of situation. But
Yeah.
I thought she wasn't. There was nothing to complain about when she came on. It was not spectacular, but it was not bad either. And maybe she'd probably play herself into form at some point, hopefully.
Yeah.
And for West Ham, one thing is I said this in the transfer video as well. It's really important for West Ham to keep its good players, which it has done. And like Zadorsky, for example, who they have re-signed, really came in clutch in the first few minutes because otherwise they could have been trailing from a Nas opportunity. And I'm really, really glad that they managed to keep the score 0-0 through their experienced players.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Shemek got injured in this game after saving, and arguably wayward ball from Drew Spence. I'm sure Drew Spence will claim that that ball was meant to be a goal
Oh
threat.
yeah,
Um,
that was a proper cross, if you will.
yeah, cross, yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Which is a it's a problem that Shemik's injured for West Ham going forward, considering the drop off in goalkeepers, and Shemik being a very steady goalkeeper for them. And both teams, I think West Ham had a similar problem to Spurs actually. Both teams lacked that decisive edge because Martinez was doing the same thing for Beth England. Maybe it's a modern game problem, but like Martinez. Uh, really needs to stop wandering about and stay where she's put. Like, she is their ultimate goal threat. Then put her in the box where she belongs. The number of
yeah.
times Asai and Martinez were literally on top of each other, like, was very. It was so frustrating. And like, honestly, this whole game was frustrating. If you were a West Ham fan or if you were a Spurs fan, you were frustrated throughout the game. The only people who were like, and like for a neutral, it was like a snooze fest. So really, it wasn't the best showing in the WSL or in the game week for that matter. But 1-0, you need to get past these games. It was a derby. We won the game.
Yeah,
Great.
I was watching this game, so I had three screens, right? I was
Yeah.
watching Brighton versus Villa on the big screen,
Yeah.
and then I did not watch the United Leicester one. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna bother.
Yeah.
But I mean, I had this match, the Spurs West Ham match, on my phone,
Yeah.
and like every few minutes, I would see like a West Ham player shoot the ball over the bar, like
Yeah.
way over the bar, and I'm
Yeah.
like make an extra pass, damn it! Like, what is
Yeah.
this behavior?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on from that snooze fest to a rather, I would say, even competition between Brighton versus Villa, which ended 0-0. Um, uh, it was like, I won't. This one was not a snooze fest per se, but it was rather a sense of both teams cancelled each other out. I would like. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I think the first half was probably slightly more competitive.
Yeah.
I think it was exciting in parts. There were maybe parts of the game where Villa had a bit of momentum and it made it end to end.
Yeah.
But honestly, like, Brighton should be disappointed that they did not score.
Yeah.
Because I do feel like they created enough. It was just like an extra touch in the box, or not spotting the run of a teammate or something like that cost them. Like, they were. I can remember two occasions where one, I think it was for Ajimang, and one it was for Haley. They were in like a great shooting position,
Yeah.
but just took one or two extra touches, and then everything, the chances disappeared, right? um so, like, I mean, for context, like, Brighton had an XG of 1.64 and they missed three big chances. So, uh, and I don't think Villa had even a single big chance. They had a couple of shots that went off the bar, and Nandozi had a great game. I think she was super solid. I'm so excited by the signing
Yeah.
because uh, I personally, like, I do rate her as a keeper, especially in terms of, you know like, not her distribution is not great, but in terms of shot stopping, claiming the ball. And also, something I found really interesting is punch her punching the ball. It was, I find this a bit irritating in women's football, which is, goalkeepers never make a good punch.
Yeah.
Like, the strength of that punch, like, it doesn't take the ball far enough. And I felt like Nandozi's punches were very decisive. They got the distance on the ball. It was akin to like a proper clearance. Um, and that I thought was very impressive. And yeah, even in a sweeper role, her sweeper actions were also like really solid, because you need to be a little alert, right? You're playing a team like Villa, who have like pace in Kirsty Hansen and Chastity Grant and Ebony Salmon. So you need to be a bit front footed as a goalkeeper to come and sort of clear the ball or whatever you need to do. So I thought she was really good. I was also really impressed with Minami. I think she's a solid addition to the Brighton Black backline. She was very tidy at the back. I really want to see more of her in the upcoming weeks. Villa looked okay. I know I did we predict Villa to be the best of the rest?
I think we
Uh,
did.
yeah, I don't think that's happening.
Yeah.
uh, because I don't know, like, they looked okay. Lynn Williams had a good debut. I am not convinced with this Rachel Daly playing the 10 experiment. Like I think they had a 4-3-1-2, was it? Like I don't know how they lined up, but like like Daly was playing right behind Hansen and Salmon,
Yeah.
and I am not sold on that. Like
Yeah.
Rachel Daly is a goal scorer. You put her in the box. I think it should be a flat front three. um like I feel like I see what Arroyo is trying to do, because like you have Hansen who can, I feel like, instead of Daly coming in deep to pick up the ball and things like that, I feel like Hansen could potentially have that role. I'm not really sure, but I feel like, it's a similar to a Beth England problem. Like somebody else do that and put Rachel Daly in the box. I feel like that will yield results that you want, because um I think similar to Spurs, Villa in parts of the season were struggling to find goals. Like it got better towards the end of last season, but yeah.
I mean, to be
From
fair, like Rachel Daly, if I remember correctly, did have a few shots from distance. I think one in
hmm.
particular that was close. So,
Yeah, 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 yeah. But that's the thing, right? Like she's so good in the air.
yeah.
She's clinical. Like she shouldn't be at the edge of the box. That's my point. She should be inside the box. But yeah, I mean that was close. I think that went off the bar, if I'm not mistaken. That shot. But yeah, I mean, from like a Brighton perspective, I felt like Ajimang had a frustrating match. I am not sure about, like, I don't want to put too much pressure on Michelle Ajimang as well. Like, I mean, I know there's a lot of chatter. I don't want her to put that pressure on herself, because right now she's the one leading that line. They've signed Camacho, I think, um, from Liga F, but like I feel like I could sense Ajimang feeling that pressure. And you know like her touch was off, her hold up play did not come good, because her first touch was so poor. And I'm wondering if Vidosic should sort of tweak it and play Ajimang and Haley as a front two, because I really like both those players. I think Ajimang is an excellent finisher, but I also feel like Haley has that technical quality to hold up the ball and also lay it off or flick it on or whatever. So I feel like those two could potentially work well as a front two. And there is no that there is no add that insane pressure on Ajimang to lead that line, because she is a very young player. And the other player who's on the bench is also a 20-year-old. That is a lot of pressure. So and everything that has happened in the Euros, she's the big name. uh, I really hope she has a good season, because last season she didn't get as many minutes at Brighton as she probably would have hoped. Hopefully, like she gets more minutes, and hopefully Vidosic can sort of tweak that system a little bit. This is my take on the matter. I feel like Haley and Ajimang should play together as a front two. I don't know how you feel about that, Ash.
I mean, it's a good like for me. Brighton is one giant experiment, so so why not?
Hmm.
you know, um, uh, and speaking of experiments, that brings us to the end of a goal fest, which was all about the match day. My God, it was a great weekend. I thought I'm so glad the WSL is back. Uh, Let us know what you think about all of the games. What were the things that were disappointing? Who are young players that you were really looking forward to? Because we're thinking of making a video about exciting young players this season, and so we'd like to hear from you as well if you have any young players you've got your eyes on. Um, in the most innocent
Footballing
footballing
sense.
sense. Um,
Yes.
if you enjoyed this review, hit the like button and subscribe to All About the W for more WSL content every week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.